Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Mastery Podcast. We'll be learning Japanese language in today's episode. You all will be wondering about why are we talking about language in this episode. What I meant is we're going to talk about Japanese model of skill mastery, which is called Shu-Ha-Ri. Shu-Ha-Ri model comes from Japanese martial arts philosophy. It has been widely adopted in agile, lean and professional skill development context. It represents the stages of learning mastery. Shu means you obey the rules or you follow the rules. This is the beginner stage. Learners strictly follow the rules, they follow the process, they follow the teachings of the master. The goal is to build a strong foundation without deviation. You're going to build a strong foundation, there's not going to be any deviation. You're strictly going to follow the rules process and whatever the master teaches you. Example, in project management, a new project manager follows the PMBOK process step by step without any customization. This is the foundation stage. It represents a state where a practitioner strictly follows all these practices, whatever is being taught. The focus is on learning the fundamental patterns and building a solid base of knowledge through imitation and repetition. This is a foundation for any new team or project. The focus will be on adherence to agile framework. When we talk about agile methodology, for example Scrum, the team learns to conduct the daily stand-ups, prioritize product backlog, execute sprints exactly. As a project manager, your role is to ensure the team has the necessary training and coaching to perform these foundational practices without deviation. The stage is about building muscle memory and a shared understanding of the framework. We move on to the next in the Shu-Ha-Ri model, which is called Ha. Ha means break or detach. This is an intermediate stage. Learners understand the principles deeply enough to adapt. Learners are going to adapt, they are going to experiment, they are going to question. Learners will start breaking away from the rigid rules that they followed in the previous stage, and they are going to apply variations based on the context. Example, a project manager is going to tailor the PMBOK process that he learned to fit the agile or hybrid projects. This is an intermediate stage. Once a practitioner has a deep understanding of the why behind the rules, he is going to start to experiment and adapt them. He is going to innovate and going to make informed choices to modify the practices to better suit the specific situation without abandoning the core principles. Once a team has mastered the fundamentals, the team is going to move into the Ha phase. They understand the why behind the practices, not just the how. They begin to adapt the agile framework to the specific project needs. For example, we are talking about agile framework here. They might decide a daily stand-up is more effective if it is held twice a week, or they may refine their definition of done to include a specific automated test. This stage is all about intelligent adaptation, and as a project manager, you need to empower the team to experiment and learn what works best for them, while still adhering to the core principles of Agile Manifesto. We move on to the next stage, which is the last stage called Ri. In the Shu-Ha-Ri model, we are talking about the last stage called Ri. Ri means leave or transcend. This is the mastery stage. Learners are going to internalize the knowledge so fully that they can create their own approach, they can innovate and teach others. They are going to move beyond the rules and act with intuition, guided by principles rather than fixed methods. Example, a highly experienced project manager develops a unique blend of predictive and adaptive practices for global programs. This mastery stage is where the practitioner is internalizing the knowledge so completely that the rules become the second nature. They are no longer bound by a specific methodology and can create their own approach, which may or may not resemble the original framework. At this stage, they are a true expert capable of teaching and mentoring others. From the Agile example, this is the pinnacle of Agile maturity. Re-level team has fully internalized the principle of agility. They operate instinctively, create new processes, they create new practices that are so perfectly suiting the environment without needing to refer back to a formal framework. They have transcended the need of a specific methodology and have become truly agile. As a project manager, your role at this level would be to shift from a coach or facilitator to a mentor, helping them to capture and share their innovative practices with the rest of the organization. Project Management Institute or PMI does use Shu-Ha-Ri in its Agile training materials, particularly in Discipline Agile. It is being introduced as a way to explain the journey from beginner to mastery in adopting Agile practices. Shu-Ha-Ri model is a philosophical framework for skill mastery that illustrates how professionals grow from following rules, adapting rules, transcending rules. Let us understand what benefits Shu-Ha-Ri model brings for a project manager. Shu stage helps a project manager start by mastering the PMBOK process tools, best practices without deviation. He is going through a structured learning path. It ensures discipline adherence to methodology like Agile, Predictive, Hybrid and builds a strong foundation. Ha stage is all about contextual adaptability. The project manager doesn't just follow rules, he is going to understand the why behind the process. This allows adaptation. Example, you are tailoring the Agile ceremonies in a hybrid project. or customizing risk management process for specific organization culture. In the Re stage, it's all about leadership and innovation. The project manager evolves into a thought leader and innovator. Project manager does not manage projects, is going to inspire teams, is going to mentor juniors and drive organization transformation by creating new approaches that go beyond the PMBOK checklist. Many project managers struggle between strict adherence to rules and innovation. Shu-Ha-Ri model provides a roadmap for knowing when to follow, when to adapt, when to innovate, which is critical in today's agile hybrid project environments. Stakeholders will definitely trust a project manager who shows both discipline, which is Shu, adaptability, which is Ha, but also demonstrates visionary leadership, which is Ri. It boosts the project manager's credibility, influence, and career growth. It helps the project manager evolve from being a rule follower to a rule adapter to a rule creator or leader, making him the most effective professional across traditional, agile, and hybrid environments. Shu-Ha-Ri model provides a clear 3-stage roadmap for guiding team members' growth. It is all about talent management and mentoring. Project management can use this model to identify where each team member is on the journey and provides the right type of support. You wouldn't ask a Shu person to invent a new process, but you would empower a Ha person to experiment. This helps in tailoring coaching and mentoring to each individual needs. Next benefit a project manager gets is the team maturity assessment. This model can be applied to an entire team. A project manager can look at the team's behavior to determine their collective maturity level. Is the team still struggling with the basic Scrum ceremonies? They are in the Shu phase. Or they are proactively modifying the sprint review to include a specific stakeholder group? They are in the Ha phase. This allows the project manager to set realistic expectations and choose the appropriate level of guidance. Shu-Ha-Ri model also helps during conflict resolution and expectation setting. Understanding these stages helps in managing team dynamics. For example, if a team member in Shu phase questions a long-standing process, it might be due to a lack of understanding of its purpose, not a genuine desire for change. Conversely, if a Ha-level team member wants to challenge a rule, project manager should view this as a potential for positive innovation rather than insubordination. Shu-Ha-Ri model also helps in promoting continuous improvement. The model beautifully illustrates the journey of continuous improvement, which is a core tenet of Agile. It shows that improvement is not a one-time event but a progression. It is going to encourage the project managers to foster a culture where experimentation and learning are valued as the team moves from Ha to Ri. Let us summarize the practices that have been followed in the Shu stage from an Agile context. We all know that Shu stage is all about following the rules. Team follows the rules. We spoke about daily stand-ups. The new Scrum team at the Shu stage will meticulously follow the 3 questions format. What did I do yesterday? What will I do today? Are there any impediments? They will stand in a circle, either strictly to the 15-minute time box, looking to the Scrum Master to signal when time is up. During sprint planning, they are going to use story points, velocity to forecast work for the sprint with little to no deviation. They might be uncomfortable with user story wording and need the product owner to validate every detail. During retro sessions, they will use a standard format like what went well, what could be improved, what will we commit to, and will likely need the Scrum Master to facilitate the entire session. These are the actions that will be performed by a team which is in Shu stage in an Agile project. When the team progresses to Ha stage, which is breaking the rules, during daily stand-up, the team which is in Ha stage understands the purpose of the stand-up to get onto the same page. They might start experimenting with a different format like walking the task board or focusing on a specific topic that requires collaboration. The Scrum Master might not even be present for the entire meeting as the team has taken ownership. During sprint planning, the team is going to understand the concepts of velocity and commitment and may choose to bring in new work mid-sprint if a high priority bug appears, as they know this is better for the business. They may also begin to challenge or refine the definition of done based on real-world feedback. In the retro stage, the team would experiment with different retro formats on their own. They might create a custom retro to discuss a specific problem they have been facing, like a recent production bug, and design their own action items without prompting. The team moves on to Re-stage, which is Be the Rule. So the team which is in Re-stage is so synchronized that the daily stand-up might be a 5-minute conversation or a quick check-in over a collaboration tool. They don't need a formal meeting because they are constantly communicating and collaborating throughout the day. The ceremony has been fully internalized and adapted to the needs. During sprint planning, the team has a deep understanding of business value and technical risk. They might spontaneously start a spike to research a new technology or refactor a critical part of the system, knowing that it will prevent future problems and speed up delivery. They are no longer bound by a rigid sprint plan but are guided by the principles of delivering value efficiently. Self-organization happens here. This is where the magic happens. A Re team is truly self-organizing and self-managing. They can troubleshoot their own impediments, mentor new team members, create new practices that become best practices for other teams in the organization. They embody the principles of Agile Manifesto so deeply that they are no longer just doing Agile, they are being Agile, especially in a team which is in the re-stage. Understanding these stages of this Japanese model helps a project manager to set the right expectations and provide the right type of support, preventing a new team from breaking the rules prematurely and enabling an experienced team to innovate and excel. We have covered the key concepts related to Shu-Ha-Ri model. We have come to the end of this episode. Hope the knowledge was valuable. Thank you for tuning in.